Okay, quadratic equations. Before we start out on our third form, let's review the other two forms that we have. And the first one is standard form. It looks something like this. Has an a, b, or c value, or a, b, and c value. We find the line of symmetry by saying x equals negative b over 2a. For this one, it would be negative of a negative 2 over 2 times negative 1, because our a is this value. That would be positive 2 over negative 2, so negative 1. So our line of symmetry is at negative 1. To find our vertex, we plug that negative 1 back into the equation. Being really careful, all these signs. So y equals negative 1 squared is positive 1. Positive 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. And then minus 1. So negative 1 plus 2 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So here is our vertex point at negative 1, 0. This opens down because our a value is less than 1 or 0. It's negative. And our y-intercept is the c value, which is up here, negative 1. So it's going to cross at negative 1, which means that I'm going to get a mirror image point over here. And I can start drawing that. Let's get one more point. So if x is positive 1, then we'll have y equals negative 1 times 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 1, which would be negative 1 minus 2 minus 1 equals negative 4. So if x is positive 1, y is negative 4. So we're going to go this way and then that way. It has a maximum point. The vertex is at its maximum. And so if they ever ask you for a maximum point of this graph, that you're just looking for the vertex again. Okay, now remember the next form that we had was the intercept form. X, let's say minus 2, x plus 4. And then remember to find, we could read the x-intercept straight off this by saying if we're looking for the x-intercepts, we want y to be 0. The only way to y for it to be 0 is if one of the terms is 0. So either x minus 2 equals 0 or x plus 4 equals 0. So x is either positive 2 or x is negative 4. So we could go ahead and put in our intercept points. 2, 3, 4. There. And now that we have the y-intercepts, there is a couple of different ways that we can get the vertex. Before, I had you multiply this out with FOIL. So let's do that real fast. X times x is x squared. X times positive 4 is plus 4x. X times negative 2 is minus 2x. And negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Combine these like terms. Y equals x squared plus 2x minus 8 And then we could say our vertex, our line of symmetry, is x equals negative b over 2a, which is negative 2 over 2 times 1 here. So that would be negative 1. So our line of symmetry point, our line is right here at x equals negative 1. Now, there's a slightly faster way to get this if you wanted to use it. Remember, these two have to be mirror images of each other. So I could take those 2 points, positive 2 and negative 4, and average them, and I could get the line of symmetry. So I could say 2 minus or plus negative 4, negative 2, and then we had 2 points that I need to average by, divide by 2. So that would equal negative 1. Whichever one that you like best. Now, to get my vertex, I'm going to go ahead and put in a negative 1 back in my equation. Let me go ahead and go all the way up here to the beginning again. And let me see if they'll let me erase. Yeah. And say y equals negative 1 minus 2 times negative 1 plus 4. So y equals negative 3 times positive 3, and that would be negative 9. So my vertex is way down here at negative 9. And so it would go something like this. Be better if I got a point or two more so I can make a smoother curve to it. I could look and see where my y-intercept is at negative 8 and put in that point, and that would help smooth it out a little bit. Okay, so that's intercept. Let me show you our third form. This is called the vertex form. And so it's really nice. It'll let you find the vertex straight off. Let's have y equals x plus 5 squared plus 1. Okay, let me go ahead and show you how to do this the longer way, and then I'll show you the short way to do it. So, remember, x plus 5 squared means x plus 5 times x plus 5. Don't say this is x squared plus 25. Don't just try to bring in this squared. That's wrong. You need to FOIL it out. So we have x squared, and then 5x plus 5x is plus 10x. Then 5 times 5 is 25. And we have plus 1 out here. So that's a very messy plus 1. Let me see if I can clean that up a little bit. That is y equals x squared plus 10x plus 26. Okay, where is our x of our vertex? Negative b, so negative 10 over 2 times a. So negative 10 over 2 is negative 5. Let's stick a negative 5 back in here. And so negative 5 squared times 10, or plus 10 times negative 5, plus 26 is, negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. 25 minus 50 is negative 25. Negative 25 plus 26 is 1. So my vertex is negative 5 positive 1. Now, if you look real close up here, you'll see it here. But this sign is wrong, isn't it? And that's because in our true vertex form, we want the sign right here to be a negative. Okay, how can I change that to be a negative but not really change the value of that number in there? I can change that to a equals x minus negative 5. Because if I cleaned up those signs, I would still have plus 5 inside. So I haven't changed the value of any. And so I can read off my vertex straight off that. This is called the HK form because we'll give you a generic form that says y equals some number times x minus h plus k, where h and k is your vertex. So let's practice that a little bit. What if we had y equals negative 1/2 times x minus 2 plus 3? What is our vertex? Well, we can read it straight off, can't we? Because this sign is fine. So we're just going to pull off the 2. This sign is fine. So I'm going to pull off the 3. Oop, need to have this squared up there. So this is a really nice form to just find the vertex real fast. Let's do another one. How about y equals 5 times x plus 1/2 squared minus 1. Okay, you notice on this that the signs are not right. So I'm going to have to fix my signs first before I pull out my vertex. So change this positive sign to a minus 1/2, and change this next sign to plus negative 1. Again, if I cleaned up those signs, I would have my original equation back, so I haven't really changed the value of it any. And then from here, I can pull off the negative 1/2 and negative 1 straight off. So y equals negative 1/2 and minus 1.